My name's Melissa Curtis. I'm the Associate Vice President of Enrollment Management at Austin Community College, and I am facilitating the Emergency Aid Lab project in part because emergency aid is facilitated greatly through student services, and all aspects of it are touching our financial aid office. Austin Community College is a large urban, suburban, and rural community college in the center of Texas. We have 11 campuses, and annually we serve between 70 and 80,000 students, enrolling about 41,000 credit students each semester. We're in the middle of Austin. We are a relatively wealthy community. We have a high employment rate, and yet our students are still in poverty. Our students still have need, and often they have gone unseen. Austin Community College had emergency aid for at least 20 years before we began the Emergency Aid Lab. We had two different streams of emergency aid, one through our foundation, in which students could submit an application, and a committee reviewed the application and provided funding directly to the students. And the other strain goes through what we call our support center. It is where our social workers provide wraparound services and case management for students who need some funding. Those programs had been separate with different access points for the students. Both of those programs connected with our financial aid department. What we did was unify those programs so that students didn't see the complications on the ACC side. They didn't have to make the decision of which one to apply for, and it became less ad hoc and more intentional about how we were providing funding to students who needed it. We've recognized that EA works incredibly well for providing emergency funding in the middle of the semester, and we began to ask other questions about student financial need, such as tuition holds that may be keeping them from registering for the next semester. And in conversation, we realized we can do something about that. We were able to waive tuition holds up to a certain dollar amount to enable students to register the next semester. One of the challenges as an administrator is trying to solve a problem immediately. I think that's what makes us good administrators. It is not always easy to slow down and roll up your sleeves and make changes to a program that is already working in order to make it work even better. We took time through design action cycles to reflect, to audit data, to talk to students, and then we began to implement change. I made a point to reach out to our foundation, to our human resources, to our faculty, to bring people to the table that were outside of my organization, because I recognized the connection students had with those areas, faculty in particular. Students connect with their faculty more frequently than they connect with student services offices, and often faculty don't know or haven't been taught how to engage with students about things that may be very personal. For example, being in a financial need or not being able to come to class. Working with faculty does help them understand how better to serve the students and makes it a more open environment in the classroom, and you're going to reach your students where they're at. Once we took the moment to look at the data and continually sat down and examined how we were helping our students, we made the commitment together to always come to the table and work together as a team. So the emergency aid program has actually strengthened us as an institution in our ability to coordinate with each other and collaborate with each other to develop programming for students. If you're embarking on this journey as a community college, my recommendation is to start with grants. A lot of emergency aid can become a loan program, but we know in the community college that our students don't want to access loans. They default on their loans, they can't pay their loans back, they're afraid to accept loans. But if you have a small amount of grant money, $750, less than that, that goes a long way to lift students, goes a long way to get them on their feet. And we have recognized by our data that we do have more students persisting and completing because of the small grants that we've given them. They are coming back from semester to semester at a rate higher than our students that are our traditional students, which is not what we would expect from students who've been in crisis. And that brings more money back to ACC in terms of tuition. With every semester the student stays, we are able to reap the rewards financially. And that's taking into account all of the overhead of the program with staffing and resources and everything that we have to give besides just the grant funding. So we've had a financial return on investment that can't be ignored, and that I think speaks very well to the program, that providing additional financial investment into it will bring more rewards back to the college. Over the last year, we have now grown our emergency aid funds by 75%. We have increased the amount of aid we've been able to give to students by 75%, and we have looked at the data and realized emergency aid is a program that will change your ability to serve your students and is going to help them stay and graduate.